Now we're rolling. Damage Plan MMA podcast. I'm Jason. As always, my co-host, Mr. Zack. Partridge in the house. What's up?
What up, dog?
What a great weekend, man.
That was a fun weekend. That was a really fun weekend.
I called my grandma every Sunday, right? And she's first thing she says is, "You and Zach are like two little kids when there's big fights coming up." She goes, "You guys are so happy on the podcast." I'm like,
yeah, we are.
We got local fights Friday night, which were freaking amazing. Then we had the pay-per-view Saturday night, which was freaking amazing. And then I played video games all day yesterday.
You are a freaking kid.
Yeah. Why not?
Dude, yeah, our Sunday was good.
Yeah, just a nice, relaxing Sunday. It was nice. Sat out on the patio.
We got up, went to church, had a good Sunday.
Yeah, it was great.
Great
weekend.
Got a 2-hour nap.
Are we going to break down this Fierce card first? Recap the Fierce card?
Yeah.
I have to give a shout out to Salsed Up Salsa for having the salsa on those VIP tables. That stuff, bomb. I put in my order as soon as I got home. It's getting delivered anytime. Probably why we're on the podcast. I bought three little tubs of it. So shout out to George and Salsed Up Salsa. That stuff is freaking legit.
What up, Tanner? I've heard nothing but good things. I'm excited.
You didn't get any on Saturday?
No, I didn't. Nobody came and brought you any. Nobody came and brought me because I was busy working. I'm the working man.
You're the working man. Well, it's good. So shout out to you guys.
I bet.
All right. Well, let's just start it off. We had the first fight of the night was Alexander Johnson and Derek Ernest. You get the cage side view. You were right there. You got to see it. Pretty good fight. I thought Johnson. I thought that was his first fight, but
no, he was 2-0. Just hasn't fought since 2014.
Yeah, Arlo corrected me.
Yeah, no, he was good. So he used to train with my boy Rico back in the day.
Oh, okay.
And then moved to California. And then when he came back, he synced up with Moria Academy and has been training. And I heard he was a monster. A certain of our buddies from the trains at Moria Academy said that they have somebody for me to fight. And I believe that who I'm not going to give her any shine on this podcast. I think this is who she was talking about. Alexander Johnson, he looked fantastic. Derek Ernest, I thought, did a pretty good job for his first amateur fight as well.
He did. He did. If
he started fast, but I think he started a little too fast.
Yeah,
because he slowed down a lot.
Yep.
And then he just didn't when he got hit and he put his head there. He just gave him the guillotine, and I just don't think he had the experience to fight it. But he went out on his shield and just went to sleep. And he didn't even tap.
He didn't tap. I think he started fast, and from my view, it looked like he cracked Johnson a couple good times, and Johnson kept coming. Yeah, and it probably was like, oh man, I'm not knocking this kid out. He's still right there in front of me. Like,
yeah, Alex, dude, super impressive, impressive performance. That was cool. I mean, hey. I'll give him some shine. I'm not anti Moria Academy. I'm not like I'll give him his due, and he looked fantastic. Like,
yeah, he really did.
That's like yeah. I mean, if he's gonna stay at 205, look like he could probably potentially maybe even make 185.
Yeah.
Dude, he's 3-0 now, so he's good.
Impressive. Yeah, impressive.
I like him.
Next
I like
up,
his game.
Andrew Dean and my boy Sean Johnson. Sean's in my fight camp. He was in my fight camp these last few weeks getting ready for the fight. That was
explain to the people what your fight camp is so they don't think that you're taking a fight.
They don't take I guess I should do that. So it's an 8-week conditioning class is what it is. So yeah, it's over at the Phoenix PI with Hector Rhodes and his wife. And they do an amazing job with the way they have that thing set up. So it's like today was like a weight day. Tomorrow will be cardio. Wednesdays.
Hector knows his stuff. I've worked out down there too. So
phenomenal, super smart. Everything is very detailed, all revolved around fighting, which I'm not going to do, but it's pretty freaking cool to do the conditioning. Yeah, fun class. So yeah, that was a great fight. Great back and forth, tight triangle choke at the end of that first round. Sean said it was tight. Sean's like a couple more seconds. He probably said he probably would have went out. Like he said it was that close.
If he would have squozed his knees together, I think he would have got it.
Yeah. That was tight. And Sonny, we'll get there. We're going up the card. He's two more fights and we'll get up to Billy Elikana's fight.
Oh, we'll get to the Billy.
But yeah, dude, Andrew looked good, man. He was good.
Dude, Sean did good.
Sean's wrestling is good, man. He's a really good. He's going to be teaching the wrestling over at Sierra Martial Arts.
Sean did a good job. Andrew's just that moves Andrew to 4-0. I mean, 155. I mean, there's got to be some. There's
a guy at your gym that's 155.
You got to think he's on the short list of people that are coming for that, right?
I mean, yeah. You're 4-0.
I keep saying it. I feel like Agima and One Hit are on like this like crash course to fight each other a bunch.
Well, it sounds like the guys over at Sierra we're talking this morning. They all want to get together and do a little card too.
Do it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It'd be fun.
So shout out to Andrew Dean. That was great. Great fight. Next up, Noah Della Calzada and Desmond Monabot. We had Noah on the podcast. I think he was just a little bit outclassed on the feet on that one. Desmond's legit, man.
Desmond isn't just legit. Like, I mean, we haven't really seen his ground game because Austin and Noah couldn't get him to the ground in the two fights that we've seen Desmond.
I mean,
couldn't get him to the ground.
How much of a ground game do you need to have if you can stay off of there?
Dude, nasty kicks.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Noah's tough though, man.
Noah's tough.
He just kept coming. He wasn't quitting. He was not quitting.
No,
he was not quitting.
Dude, Desmond's legit. That was pretty interesting too. A little call out asking, "Hey, Scott Coker, you know where I am? I want to come fight for Bellator."
I like it. I like it.
I think you're ready when you're starting to win championships in multiple weight classes. So you got to remember, he beat Austin Atkinson at 155.
Was it 155?
Yeah. And then dropped all the way down to 135 and won that title. When you can bounce between 135, 145, 155 and win amateur titles, it's probably time to go pro.
Yeah, he's ready.
And he looked fantastic.
It's impressive. Next up, we had Starling Simmons and Chris Thompson. Kind of a freak injury. I couldn't tell. Looked like he threw his shoulder out.
I actually was messaging with Chris a little bit yesterday. Yeah, he threw a punch, and when he threw the punch, he threw it so hard it popped out, and then on the recoil went back in. But he said his arm was shot and he couldn't like move it. So I mean, the fight lasted like 30 seconds or less.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
But it was action packed for 30 seconds. They were trying to kill each other.
He threw a nasty kick right off the glove touch. He was like, "I'm coming for your head," and that was nasty.
Glove touch, high kick, whoop.
And Simmons, he was swinging for the fences too.
Yeah,
great fight.
Yeah, Starling Simmons, working with Marco Sanchez and Ramsey were in his corner like that. Man, he's gonna be fun to watch for.
Yeah,
pro 185er. Add a little depth to that pool of guys right now. There's another pro 185er that just made his debut that I wouldn't be surprised if you saw them matched up on a future Fierce card. Starling Simmons and our boy Billy Elikana, who
was the next fighting our boy Ravon, who we didn't get Billy on the podcast. Next one, Billy, you got to come on. Billy Elikana.
I messaged Billy after congratulating him, and he's finally sent something. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Whatever. I'm like, we'd still love to have you on the show. Nothing. I just don't think he's interested in.
He's like, nah.
He's like, I'm just gonna keep beating fools up and not talk to anybody.
He looked good, man. Just too much for Ravon. Once he got him down on the ground, it just.
So the book on Billy, the scouting report, whatever that is, elite striker. Elite level striker, very athletic, fluid, southpaw striker, comes out in an orthodox stance and then wrestles with him and takes him down and pretty much at will took him down, flattened him out, and then finally got the rear naked choke. Question of the day as a commentator: Rogan, DC, Bisbing, Cruz.
Get Bisbing out of there. Bisbing doesn't even need to. Zach's already ahead of Bisbing.
Hey, thank you.
Even only after I haven't listened to this last one. I need to jump on there and listen to it because I wanted to listen to your commentary. But yeah, Billy, he looked good. He did what he needed to do to win. Took him down. And pretty much dominated.
And, we talked a little bit with Ravon after, and it sounds like he knows that there are some changes that he needs to make to continue to get better. And it sounds like he's willing to do that. So, good for him. Dude, he tried.
Yeah, he wasn't giving up.
He was just a little outmatched.
Billy's just he was just a better fighter.
I mean, Billy's next level. Like Billy's. I mean, he's a guy that it's like, how fast can we get him to 5-0 so that we can get him on the Dana White Contender Series and start seeing him on, you're going to see Billy LFA, PFL, UFC, Bellator. Like he's going to be that's where he's going. You just hope that we can keep him here with like Fierce and some of these other local shows. It'd be cool if we could see him in a steel fist cage at some point. Or, just whatever. I mean, whatever he can get, local, regional stuff.
Yeah.
These first 3-4 fights, because I kind of think after that he's going to be on pretty big stages.
I'm glad we got the chance to watch him fight because I know we've talked about him on the podcast a few times before. So I'm glad we got to see him fight.
They're trying to
line you up with him.
Nope.
I know you're not scared, but
I mean, if I sign, I'll figure out a way to in my head to figure out a way to win. But I'm like,
that's a
big boy.
There's levels.
There's levels. He's a big boy. He's a killer.
He normally fights at 185, right? Did he move up, or is he normally a light?
No, nobody would fight him at 185. So he was fighting heavier guys at 205 and messing him up.
At 185, he's a monster.
He's terrifying.
He's a monster.
And and he did tell me though, like it was an easy weight cut. He has no problem. Dude, when he was fighting at 205 though, he was weighing in at like 195, 196.
It's crazy.
And people were cutting down from 220 and still messing him up.
How about next up? We had Drew Harbinson and Nathan Owens. That was a fun fight.
Super fun. Drew is an animal on the ground,
dude. He was relentless.
And if you want to talk about tough, again, another Maury guy, Nate Owens. There's no denying Nate hits hard. Like that dude cracks. Right? Cracked Joel. Joel had a nice black eye shiner.
Oh yeah.
And then Drew, dude, he almost dropped him. Drew was trying to grab his ankles for his life there in the first round. Finally grabbed the leg, got the takedown. And then once he kind of like had that set up, it was like he kind of knew where he could beat him. Drew kind of just outclassed him on the ground. And that was just you could just an experience level. I think Nate Owens has only been doing grappling like consistently on a higher level at Maury Academy for a year or maybe two.
It hasn't been that long, has it?
It hasn't been that long. Where it looks like Drew's been grappling forever.
He looks like he's clearly had some wrestling
and jiu-jitsu. His jiu-jitsu is sick, and he kept settling into that half guard up against the cage, so he couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah,
and he did an excellent job. And Drew's legit because Drew holds a win over our boy Desmond Monabot.
That's impressive. That is impressive.
Maybe we could see them running back as pros in the Fierce cage.
Ooh. Mr. Matchmaker.
I'm the matchmaker.
Get him in there, baby. Get it.
But that'd be, elite grappler versus a really good striker. But Drew is, and he showed a lot of toughness because, Nate was. People can say whatever you want. Nate doesn't quit. He fought hard, and dude, when he had chances, he was swinging for the fences. I think even the third round, it was just late in the second or third, he hit him with an uppercut and kind of dropped him again with an uppercut. And it's like, dude, Nate is a super heavy-handed bantamweight that hits hard. So shout out to Drew for, for pushing through that. And he did what he had to get the win.
Yeah. Let's get him on. We need to get him on too. We didn't get him on before this fight.
Oh, we'll get him on. Me and him have been going back and forth too. He's cool.
Nice.
Me and Drew's my new buddy. Him and his Zelda haircut. Dude, Sean Strickland was making fun of him. He's like, you better be a freaking bad A in the cage if you got to walk around with a Zelda haircut like that.
Dude, we'll talk about it after, but I got the fight for him after. If everything goes right on June 18th.
No, don't. I already know where you're going with that.
No, you don't think so?
No.
Anyways, all right, next fight. Cameron Creel, our boy who we had on the podcast, fighting Sesley Collard.
Kesley looked phenomenal.
I knew nothing about him. I don't even think I've ever seen him fight before. And I know Cameron had the boxing background.
Kesley's leg kicks were phenomenal.
Do you think maybe Cameron should have taken some amateur MMA fights before? Because he's
he's pro boxer, you can't do amateur fight MMA.
I was wondering about that. That's there. You could just tell, like you could tell he wanted to stand up and box, but those leg kicks, they just.
But Kesley. I think Kesley had the upper hand. He had the upper hand because who better to learn from than Clay on, okay,
Yeah.
if you're going to fight a boxer and transition to MMA, like, here's the game plan,
Yeah.
right? Like, he was perfect.
Yeah.
It was perfect. Perfect game plan, and Kesley executed it perfectly.
Somebody at my table made a comment. They're like, he looks like he's slow, but he's not. Like, his punches were super straight, precise. I mean, they were pinpoint accuracy. Like, he's I was impressed with that.
Hey,
kid.
you can say what you want. It's not like, people, I mean, you say what you want. I mean, obviously Ryan Alt's doing something right up there with those guys.
Yeah, I was impressed with the way he looked. Really good game plan too.
What's really interesting is my co-host that I was doing the broadcast with.
Yeah,
he does the commentary down in Price, and he said, I grew up, and he goes, I actually called Clay and Klesley's like high school football games and stuff.
Oh, nice.
And so he's like, I've known them since they were like, and they said Clay, he used to call Clay. It was always big play Clay. Like, because Clay would always make big plays, but he said Kesley, he was a good athlete too. Dude, he's a good athlete. It'd be interesting to see what his ground game's like. I'm sure it's solid. I doesn't seem like a guy that is just one dimensional, because to be able to go from boxing and then come in and fight like that and have a kick heavy game plan. I mean, dropped him with a body kick.
That's what I was going to say. I couldn't remember if it was a punch or a kick, because I know he kicked him a couple times. He caught him with some kicks, and
you kick the legs, right? You beat up the legs.
Yeah.
And then you start beating up and then start peppering the face a little bit. And then it leaves the body wide open because you're so worried about protecting your legs and your head. And it just leaves this nice big target right in the ribs. And one of those kicks found its home and it took the wind out of Cameron. But he said he'll be back, and I believe him. Like that's a dude that knows how to come back from an L. Like, he'll be fine. You
don't have that many fights and just throw in the towel over a loss. He'll be back.
Yeah.
Next up, we had Weston Wilson and Carson Frey, and I feel like a jerk for not doing my research on this Carson Frey kid. And he came out there and was all over Weston right from the jump. And I'm like, oh,
Carson's coming on this podcast.
Sorry, Weston. Carson Frey's coming on?
Yeah, he's going to come on.
Oh, sweet.
We hooked up after, and he said he's down to come on. He said, sorry, we didn't get in touch before, but he might have been the most, out of the pros, probably the most impressive, one of the most impressive. I mean, that I think most people would have considered Weston Wilson kind of favored. Like,
I did, but I mean, I thought there was a couple people asking me around. I said, I think Weston's going to win the fight. But then again, I didn't really do any research on Carson. And
Weston was so much taller that you're like, and that karate style, and he moved like kind of Wonder Boy, hands low, bouncing. It's like, man, it's going to be tough to get in on him. And once Carson got in on him,
which was quick, he picked him up pretty quick and slammed him. I was like, oh, he's all
Weston landed a couple good shots, and Weston was trying to fish for submissions, but Carson, it's like, what shuts down jiu-jitsu? Like ground and pound. And Carson was relentless of just pressure and smashing. Very impressive performance. Very impressive.
Very impressive. And then next up was, to finish off the night, was our boy Jerome Hatch and Chris Curtis. Man, that was a great performance by Chris. I mean, he, on the podcast, something rang out to you and I, because I know we talked about this off the podcast, and we can talk about it now, was Jerome had made a comment about he does this as a hobby, and Chris does this as for a living. And there's levels to this, right? And that seemed to be the difference in that fight. Like, Chris was calm, cool, collected, knew what he wanted to do. I told my wife about 30 seconds to a minute in, I'm like, he's going to tire him out, which I know you said on the broadcast too. I'm like, he's just tiring him out. He's going to let him punch himself out, and then he's going to turn it on. And that's exactly what he did.
And it was nice. Chris actually gave me a very nice compliment, messaged me on Instagram. He said he got to watch the broadcast, and he sent me a really nice message and said, you were spot on with the game plan. Like, you called it really early, and you have a impressive eye for the sport. And so thank you, Chris. I appreciate that very nice compliment. Here's the deal. Jerome Hatch has the power to shut anybody's lights off.
Anybody. Yeah.
Right. He's got to find that button. But here's the flip side of it. Chris Curtis, at the level that he's fought at PFL, trying Dana White Contender Series, and he's training with Sean Strickland, who's one of the best middleweights in the UFC. Does he have a number by his name yet?
I don't think,
but he's like 23-3 or
He's-
24-3 or something, like some ridiculous record like that, right?
he's
But-
scheduled to fight Uriah Hall in August.
I know.
Yeah. Needed to throw elbows instead of hooks, less energy. Yeah, Steve and I were talking about that on Saturday.
So, but everybody at Chris Curtis, he's like, everybody hits hard at that level.
Yeah.
And so, like, Jerome Hatch's power, while it's powerful and it's something that could absolutely shut his lights off, Chris Curtis just needs to know where he can't get hit.
Yeah.
But it's not like he's gonna get hit and be like, oh, that was hard. It's like,
yeah.
dude, he gets hit by big, strong guys at that level all the time.
Yeah.
At Extreme Couture, you know. And Jerome even made a post and said that Chris said that if he doesn't get in the UFC, he's willing to run it back. And Jerome, and dude is a competitor. Here's the other thing. Jerome's a man's man, right? Like,
yeah,
that dude, he's not going to back down for a fight. He's fine. Dude, and what I love about Jerome, we see Jerome and Chris walking out together after.
Yeah.
Jerome still took time. We said hi, shook my son's hand, you know, and he head held high. Like, dude, he's a man's man.
Yeah,
it's not the first time he's lost. He's not afraid to lose either.
No.
He didn't care. And Chris Curtis was cool. And Sean Strickland called it and he said, and he said it, but you know, and then they invited him to come down and train with them. Like, yeah. I hope it was squashed. A lot of people didn't like that Chris Curtis was talking to Jerome's kid between rounds. I don't know if you saw that because it happened on the other side of the cage.
No, I didn't see it.
So I will say this. As a fighter, I probably wouldn't be talking to the family of my opponent between rounds or at all, period.
Yeah.
Flip side, I probably wouldn't allow my kid to be messaging my opponent talking smack either.
There's two sides.
To each their own, right? I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm just saying that's not me. And it's like, and so for the people that were getting really on Chris Curtis for like whatever, it's like, you know, I don't think Jerome took it personal. Like,
I don't think so either.
But everybody else was.
Everybody else clear. Yeah.
And so it's like, it kind of got a little out of hand and a little much. Cause I think, and Jerome's the type of guy, like he said, like, he's not respectful before fights because that guy's trying to knock you out.
Yep.
But he says we could bury it after and squash it after. And that's why I said Jerome's a man. Wins like a man, loses like a man.
Yeah.
And I give him a lot of props for that. Chris Curtis, in my opinion, he should be in the UFC. There are middleweights that I'm like, he beats them right now. He beats people on the UFC roster right now. I believe.
It was impressive. I mean, he came in there with a game plan and he followed it to the T. Like, there was no.
Well, and here's the other thing, and this is something that isn't talked about, but somebody at Chris Curtis's level, to be able to follow that game plan for multiple rounds, right? It's one thing to come out and start the fight following a game plan, but then as chaos happens, as things happen, to like kind of vary away from it. He was like locked in, ironed. He knew what he had to do. He had a job. He needs wins. He has to rack up wins to get to the UFC.
Yep.
And he knows that. And he wasn't going to let anything. And he waited for his moment, found his moment, boom, finished the fight.
And for him to have that discipline after all the, you know, the back talk and the podcast and everybody's talking, and for him to keep his mindset and to keep that,
to
stay focused. Yeah, that's an elite level fighter right there. And not saying that Jerome's head wasn't in it too, because he was a little more patient than he was in the Cavender fight. Like
I thought Jerome fought actually a pretty good fight.
He did.
And he like Steve said, he could have thrown some more elbows. There were some things that maybe to conserve some energy once he, maybe there could have been some recognition that what Curtis was doing.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a high level fight to have in local MMA here in Utah.
Yeah. No, it really is. So
thanks, Jeffrey. That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. I appreciate it, bro. Henry Cejudo still sucks.
I'd love to see Curtis back in here. I don't know who they'd get to fight him, but I'd love to see him back.
I have some ideas.
We can talk about it after.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we talk about the pay-per-view now?
Oh my gosh. First and foremost, I was dead wrong about two main events this weekend. One, I said Jerome Hatch or Chris Curtis, somebody was getting knocked out in the first round. Two, I said that Charles Oliveira or Michael Chandler, I didn't know who was going to win, but it was going to be a landslide either way, and there wouldn't be going back and forth. And I was dead wrong on both, and that's why nobody should listen to me ever.
Where do you want to start at? Do you want to start at the bottom and just work our way up like we usually do?
Always.
All right. First up, man, I started off the night rough.
I started off hot.
Christos Giegos and Sean Soriano. Soriano, hey, he looked good in the first round. I was like, man, I'm looking good. And then he goes to sleep for the Darce choke.
Giegos wrestling and grappling. It's not like elite, but it's really good. It's really, I mean, that dart for people that I don't know if people totally understand, but for him to land the Darce from the feet the way he did and tighten it up and cinch it up and jump it the way he did, that was nasty.
So I took a big fat L on that one.
Yeah, you did.
And that's okay.
It's okay.
Tucker Luntz and Kevin Aguilar, we were both on that one. We thought Tucker Luntz was going to be the better fighter, and he was.
Yeah.
Priscilla Cacciaretta and Gina Mazzani, we both were on Gina. And
I'm not happy about that.
Not
happy. I think the ref screwed the pooch on that one. I think the ref messed us up, bro. Can I say screw the pooch on the podcast?
Yeah, you can say screw the pooch. Nothing wrong with that.
He did. Dude, she was working. She wasn't just laying there. I mean, she wasn't like busting her open.
She was done.
Dude, you can't
I picked Mazzani, but I did threw $5 on Priscilla right before the fight started.
You're a wiener.
It was right before, and I thought, man, she's the biggest underdog. I'm like, I'm just going to throw $5 on her just to see. So, I mean, I'm not taking credit for it because I didn't pick her because I really didn't think she was going to win. But hey, now we start my night.
Yeah, you got
Hillary, you just can't say, dog. You can't say, you can say it on the podcast, just not on Facebook.
That's right. Well, this is on Facebook, so who knows? They could be listening.
Oh, we're gonna get in trouble.
And Zuckerberg's gonna.
You're gonna get canceled.
We're gonna get canceled. You're too. Your butt's on the line too.
It's on my page.
That's right.
All right. So next up, we had Andrea Lee and Antonia Shevchenko. I'm not gonna brag about it because I just basically took the opposite. I took the odds and just took the money. I didn't really have a read on that fight, but my bank account will take it.
Andrea Lee looked impressive. Jordan Wright, we were so wrong.
Dead wrong.
We were so wrong.
I didn't see that one because we were driving. My wife and I went to Steve's house and watched the fights over there with Joel and all those guys.
Yeah.
Great night, by the way. It was super fun. You'll have to come down and watch sometime.
Yeah, I'd love to. That'd be awesome.
Lando Venata and Mike Grundy.
Should we talk about the judging?
What
judge gave Grundy 30-27? I appreciate him trying to help you out because we picked Grundy.
And
I appreciate that, but get out of here, bro.
Who was
what
it?
fight was he watching?
Who? And it wasn't even Chris Lee. Chris Lee called it 29-28. It was Patelon. I don't even know who that is. Scored it 30-27. Well, this is how off it is because
they said this in the post-fight press conference. That guy's only judged 5 MMA events in his life.
Come on, bro.
He's Texas. Hey, Texas, your athletic commission, you got to get better.
Dude, you can't have
fly me and Jason in if you're that desperate for judges. Because I guarantee you we're not going to.
We could do a better job than that.
That was ridiculous.
It depends on if I have money on the fight.
Well, you just eliminated yourself from.
Eliminated myself for that one, didn't I?
From ever being a judge ever.
The Pete Rose of MMA judging, baby. Rosales had the fight 30-27 the other way. So he had one judge 30-27 one way and the one
which is understandable because Veneta was kind of in control the whole fight.
Yeah.
I think 29-28 was appropriate.
Yeah.
But Grundy had his moments, but Veneta won the fight. I'm just happy when that happens that the wrong guy doesn't lose or the wrong guy doesn't win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That breaks my heart because you're talking about, life-changing money. Half their money comes from winning.
Utah does too. Next up, we had Andre Muniz.
Don't let it go to the judges. It's your fault. You let it go to the judges.
I'll have to, no, I can't talk about it. I won't say it on the podcast, but remind me to tell you. Yeah. Steve was all decked out at the Fierce card. Did you see him there? His cowboy hat on, his boots. Man, yeah. Steve was all decked out, man.
Steve Razor Sharp. He owns that place.
you get him back on the card with a full
Hey,
everybody.
Steve. Hey, Steve, will we see you back on a card, bro?
Hey, they were all talking about it Saturday night, getting Hector and Steve and all those Sierra martial arts guys all on one card. Let's get Steve back in there. What has he got? 3 months left? 4 months? When was the last steel fish? March. So he's got
August?
4 months.
Can he fight in the August card?
Maybe.
Steve Razor Sharp.
Steve
Let's go.
Razor Sharp. Pack the Maverick Center.
Pack the Mav.
Pack the Maverick Center. Next up, we had Andre Muniz and Renato Suaza Jacare. I was right. You were wrong. It's no big deal, Zach.
Oh, eat it. Gosh, man.
I totally guessed on this one too. I just took the odds.
Is that one of the gnarliest arm breaks you've ever seen?
That was
you
nasty.
could hear it snap.
Ooh, it's like
and then the best was I got this meme. And I sent it to my nephew Taylor, who's a soccer player, about Jacare snaps his arm, is standing there, give him hugs, smiling, congratulating him after the fight. Soccer player, somebody sneezes on him, and he's on the ground holding his leg like somebody's trying to kill him. Freaking Jacare, what a gangster, dude. Is he
a gangster or is he an idiot? Why not tap?
Because you're Jacare Souza. Hey, you do know he beat Hajar Gracie in a jiu-jitsu competition with a broken arm?
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I did not know that.
I will send you the YouTube clip. I've seen it. Hajar Gracie breaks his arm and he keeps going and then he beats him.
That's not gangster to me. That's
gangster.
No. Okay. You were totally right on this one. I was totally wrong on this one. Edson Barbosa.
Hey.
Shane Burgos.
Hey, what? Billy Alicana said he'll come on for the next one.
Yes,
I don't know if he's listening or whatever, but
yes.
Shout out Billy.
Shout out to Billy. That's funny. Well, somebody did. Whoever Sonny Bardosi was watching him.
Dude,
maybe he told him.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'll give him all the love and all the props. He's
an animal, man.
That dude's he's going places, and and what I like about him too is I feel like he has his head on straight. Like, he's family. Like his head's not big. Like he's not one of those cocky guys, but there is a confidence, a calm confidence with him. Like.
He's Polynesian. He's Polynesian, man.
I like that. That's my style. I like that dude.
Yeah.
I like that dude.
But yeah, you were dead on Barbosa. I slept.
Give me the hat.
I thought Burgos, man, that was I've never seen a knockout like that before.
That was scary. Like it was so like, and somebody pointed out, that's like one of those punches where it's like you hear that they like had a brain bleed 12 hours later in the hospital because it hit him in the temple, and then he was like, oh. And then all of a sudden it was like, boom.
Scary.
Like, and Dana's face in the back was like, we just had our first guy die in a cage ever.
He told him after, he's like, hey, I'm fine. And Dana's like, get your butt to the hospital. You're going to the hospital. Like,
and you know what though? I will say this. For those that say that Dana doesn't try and take care of fighters and doesn't care about them, I feel like he does. I feel like he genuinely cares for the fighters from that standpoint.
We talk about it all the time on here. He's a business guy. He's a business owner.
He's a business, but he also does.
But he does take care of the fighters. I think he does.
So.
Mike Tyson punch out. That's exactly what it was. Mike Tyson punch out.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mike Tyson punch out, can I show you my new purchase that I just bought?
That's dope. That's freaking dope.
Signed by Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
I had to get it.
I love. Yeah. I like.
Did you ever play Punch Out? You're too young for that, aren't you? You did.
I played it like on those throwback things, though.
Yeah.
It's tight.
Did I just age myself? Because I used to play.
Dude, my red beard versus your gray one ages you just fine. Hey, my beard's coming in nice.
Maybe I need some just for men.
Just for men.
Nah, screw it, man. We're keeping the distinguished look. We're rocking the gray, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
I shaved the other day, and so my mustache down to here is dark. You can't really tell on the camera. Yeah. And this is all gray. So I was going to shave it. Cherie was like, you should shave it to do the little handlebar mustache thing.
I'm going to start calling you Creeper Jason if you do.
That is creeperish. I did have that in the Marine Corps. I just had the little Hitler stash when I was in the Marine Corps.
I've seen the pictures.
The little porn stash.
I've seen it's terrifying. I would not show that to my kids.
Don't show. Yeah.
Hunter would be terrified of you.
I think Hunter went to the bathroom more times than I did on Friday night.
Yeah, he gets a little anxious. He gets a little amped up. So for those who don't know, at the Fierce Fights, Hunter was sitting next to me. He does get a little anxious. I mean, when Jerome's fans were freaking out at Chris Curtis too, I was like right behind us. Dude, you could pick up this chick right behind me that was like MF and Chris. Like the broadcast, I think, could hear it because people could hear it. It was picking up on my mic.
Yeah.
And Hunter, you got to understand, he's a good kid. He is the sweetest, nicest kid. And he just like, he just like covers his ears and he's like, bad words. He's like, I don't know what to do here. Like,
he walked up to me during the fight, during the main event. And he's like, I'm sorry for being a pain. Like he had to go. I'm like, oh, it's fine, dude. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
I have to go half the time anyways too. So it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah. He's a kid and has a small bladder and you're old and have one. So
yeah,
cool.
No big deal. So anyways, you were right on Barbosa. I slept on him. Caitlin,
dude, that was just like that was one too though, where it was. But
that was a great
flip a coin.
It was a good fight. Like they were banging it. I think Barbosa was going to win the decision, but if it would have went to that, did it? Yeah, it was in the third round. I think Barbosa was going to win the decision.
His legs bleeding from those leg kicks. He's just a savage.
Caitlin Chikagian and Viviane Araujo. Who did you pick? You picked Araujo.
I screwed up. I did pick Araujo, but I ended up thinking about it and ended up picking Chikagian in my bets and picked her to win by decision. So that was nice.
Nice. Cash it.
That was a nice cash for me.
Hey,
here's the thing. Here's the problem with Caitlin Chikagian. She beats all the contenders.
Yeah.
But isn't anywhere close to Valentina. No. So it's like, she's like the gatekeeper at number one forever because she's never going to beat Valentina.
Who is up there with Valentina though? Nobody. Henry Cejudo.
She beats Henry Cejudo. I'll say it right now.
Oh, Matt Schnell and Rosario Bontorin. Man, we both had Schnell winning that. We thought he was going to. We thought he was going to win that one. Took a big fat L on that one.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed for Schnell on that one. He just couldn't get his offense off.
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, it was weird.
He looked very good.
Jeff, no one beats Henry Cejudo but himself.
Okay. El Jefe. Can I call you El Jefe?
He does kind of look like El Jefe. He's got the mullet going.
He's
yeah.
Yeah. Henry Cejudo ducked Petr Yan. That's all I'm going to say. He was afraid of. Yeah, I do. I actually do, dude. Okay.
Zach's getting all serious.
He beat Demetrius, and I called it when I was watching the fight. And I remember I texted Aldo, my coach, and I was like, dude, he's going to get the decision. He won 3 of those rounds. Yeah. And I was like, nah, like the judges will give it to Demetrius. And they did. And they gave it to him. And I thought he won it. And then he defends against TJ, who's not even a real 125er. Right?
Yeah.
Who had to take illegal substances just to get to 125. Good for him. Whatever. TJ's a cheater. Whatever. Good for him. Moves up, fights for the vacant 135. That I will not take anything away from him beating Marlon Moraes. That was an incredible gutsy performance. Overcame some adversity. Stopped Marlon. Mentally broke Marlon. Hats off. I'll give him applaud all day for that. But then he defended his belt against the easiest guy he could defend his belt with, a guy that was was great, but is not that guy anymore. Like Dominic Cruz is not that guy anymore, right? Fair?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's fair.
And then retires because he's got murderer's row of 135 coming, headed by Petr Yan. He wanted no part of that smoke. He wanted no part of it.
He didn't want the smoke.
I don't think he wanted it with Cody Garbrandt. I don't think he wanted it with Petr Yan. I don't think he wanted it with Aljamain Sterling. I don't think he wants it with any of them. And because look at him. He's already talking now. He's like, yeah, I'll fight Dillashaw again. It's like, dude hasn't done anything in over 2 years.
Of course he wants. Yeah, of course he wants to fight.
You already beat him once. Like, yeah, you'll fight him. I want to see you fight Corey Sandhagen. Nope, he doesn't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I think he ducked. I shouldn't say he ducked Petr Yan, but I think Petr Yan factored into it, and like those 4 or 5 killers there, he's like, dude, I don't want to mess around with that. Like,
yeah.
That's Cejudo's great, but he's not even top 10 MMA in my book.
Okay.
He was champ, but he only defended it once or twice.
All
and
right.
to be fair, I knock Connor all the time. He never defended his titles. And so that's why I say that's what separates Connor from, he was great, but he's not an all-time great.
Yeah. I agree with that. I can get down.
So who knows in that him and Connor in that little class to the side over there.
I can get down with that.
Okay.
So
El Jefe, suck it.
Co-main event. The only fight on the card that I cared about being right on was this card.
I knew you were right.
I know you did. You did say you were betting with your heart on this one.
Yeah.
And
El Cucuy, baby.
El Cucuy needs to be done. I saw somebody on Twitter saying he needs to fight a stand-up guy. No, he doesn't. He'll get picked apart. Somebody said Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker will piece him up.
Oh my gosh.
He will piece up Tony Hooker.
Do not do that to Tony Ferguson.
He just, unfortunately, he needs to be done, I think.
Okay. So can you know what Dana needs to do?
What?
Tony Ferguson, Donald Cerrone. This is going to be your guys' final fight. You're basically in the same point where you're both done, but you don't want to be. So you guys can fight each other. And then we'll have this we'll let you main event like a fight night. And we will let you guys both walk with your heads held high and have a nice ceremony saying thank you for both of you for your years of giving us wonderful fights, amazing ambassadors to the sport. You cannot say anything other than they're both extremely entertaining, but you're old. You want to fight at 155, which is the most shark-infested water division. Neither of them beat a single guy with a number by their name right now. And we'll never again.
Never, yeah, I agree.
And it breaks my heart to say it for both of them, but especially Tony. But
it's a draw, Jeff. It's a draw. It's going to go to a draw. Nobody wins that fight. Even though Tony did beat him, 2 years ago? They fought in 2019.
Because he blew his nose.
After he broke his nose.
That's why it makes so much. It's why it makes so much sense. Is because there wasn't like a definitive winner in that fight. Because Tony, the only reason why he won is because he blew his nose and his eyes puffed up, and so the doctor stopped it. Just
Jeff. Oh man, that's messed up. One of them's in Ferguson's corner. The other one's in Cerrone's corner.
Put Diego and Tony on the same side.
Hey,
and you're going to see all sorts of craziness.
I give Tony a lot of crap on this podcast, but dude, I appreciate what he's done. I think he's gotten to it. Talked about it on Friday. He totally got hosed by the UFC for not getting a title fight after 12 wins in a row.
12 wins, bro.
12 wins in a row, and he got the shaft on that one. But I shouldn't say he should be done, because if there's one thing, he's a draw, man. That crowd was all for Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
Welcome to Bellator. I did say that after the fight. Welcome to Bellator. I don't hate it. I mean, he's a draw though. Still, do I think he should still be fighting? No, but if he wants to keep fighting, I think but if he could go fight and beat guys, like if he can go to Bellator and there might be some more interesting fights for him at Bellator. Like, get him on the Fierce or Steel Fist card, man.
That's disrespectful.
He's not beating anybody. He's not, like you said, he's not beating anybody with a name.
No, he could still hang with some of those guys, but he's just.
Who do you think?
I already said he's not beating anybody in the top 15, but you can't tell me he can't beat some of those up and comers. He can. He totally can.
I don't even know if he beats the up and comers,
dude. I'll say this. I think anybody knows, dude. There were moments where like he almost had a triangle up on Dariush. Dariush is world-class grappler.
He's world-class grappler. Yeah. Isn't he he's like a champion nogi, isn't he?
Yeah. Like he's world-class.
He's legit.
So it's like, that's the thing. Look at who Tony's losing to.
Yeah.
He's still losing to like the cream of the crop. You can't tell me he can't go to Bellator and beat most of their 155ers. Of course he can. Can we see him and Benson Henderson? That would be fun.
I'd go for that.
Right? Like you'd get up for that.
I'd go for that. I definitely didn't agree with that tweet that somebody's like, yeah, he needs to fight Dan Hooker, stand-up fight. And I'm like, dude, if you watched his last 5 or 6 fights, he
takes too much damage.
Takes way too much damage. His only chance, in my opinion, is fighting. Maybe it is fighting a Dan Hooker and taking it to the ground and submitting him, but you got to get it there first.
So, and I'll say this too. And you told me, and I watched the post-fight press conference, and Beneil Dariush was very cool in the post-fight. Like first of all, I'm going to say this. I thought his performance sucked. I thought that was super lame and super boring.
I agree.
But he did what he had to win.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at that either. Right. But like he spent so much time just like trying to lock down Tony so he couldn't get submitted. He did a great job, but it's like he didn't do anything.
Yeah, he didn't do a damn thing.
But he did tear Tony's ACL.
Oh, did he really? I didn't see it. Did they confirm it?
Benelli said he heard a loud pop. And dude, there's no way. There's no way. And Tony's just too tough for his own good. But it's like, so if you're Dariush, like, and the other thing I didn't like, the Elon Musk thing was kind of funny. Like, it made me laugh.
Where's his car? Yeah.
Yeah. Where's my car? That I kind of dug that. But then him to be like, I'm coming. And he's like, but I'm going to take some time off and go be a dad. Well, I totally support his right to be a dad and take time off, but that's not going to cut it, bro.
No, you're not. Yeah. I said, as soon as you said that, I'm like, he'll never be the champ. Not like that.
Like it doesn't work that way. Like, so you know, who do you want to fight? Who do you want to see Dariush fight next?
Let's see here. Let's see. While I'm pulling up the rankings, I do want to give him a shout out though. He has an orphanage in Haiti with like 20 kids that he's going. That's pretty freaking cool, man.
Pretty freaking cool.
So at 155, Beneil Dariush, give him an RDA. Give him RDA.
RDA. Okay.
RDA.
I looked at that too. And that is a fun fight. That's
a
really fun fight.
Or
I got another one for you though.
Or you could say Chandler.
No, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about
that. There is a fight that you have to make for Michael Chandler. And it is
I know who it is. Yeah. I was just trying to. Yeah. All right. Let's
talk no. Tell me how this doesn't main event a UFC fight night that you would just be all geeked up about. How about Benny Dariush versus Gregor Gillespie?
Ooh. Is Gillespie ready for that jump up? What's Gillespie at?
12.
He's 12. Yeah, because he took a win. He's up 2. I'd still like to see.
Or him and Islam Makhachev, but they just signed him up with Thiago Moises.
I don't understand that at all.
Who's not even ranked, which is just so weird. But Gregor Gillespie.
You're right, Jeff. I think that's.
Or Benny Dariush versus Paul Felder. I'd sign me up for that.
He needs a higher number. He's on like a 6 or 7 fight win streak.
7 now. Okay, RDA.
Give him an RDA because I don't think RDA is even signed. Well, he doesn't want to fight till the end of the year now. Man,
RDA is just chilling, bro.
Chilling. Can we talk about the main event now? Main event: Do Bronx, Michael Chandler.
Yeah,
that was we were all on the edge of our seat on that one. That was a fun. Didn't go how either one of us thought it was going to go, but
how it's crazy. So the odds said Michael Chandler was plus 150 to win by knockout, and Charles Oliveira was plus 160 to win by submission. Right. So they're pretty much saying if Chandler wins, he gets it via knockout. If Oliveira wins, the odds for Chandler to win by submission were like plus 1,000, and the odds for Oliveira to win by knockout was like plus 900.
And Chandler almost had this. I don't even think he almost had it, but it was.
Dude, Chandler, I think Oliveira was in real trouble at the end of the first round. Dude, I thought the fight was over in the second round. I thought Chandler was going to knock him out in the second round for sure.
I didn't. I thought
really?
because of what happened in the Kevin Lee fight, he took a lot of damage in the first round of the Kevin Lee fight too, and Kevin Lee almost finished him. But as soon as Oliveira came out for that second round, and he was just like he was fine, like he just took a shot in his arm, and he's like, okay, let's go. That was fun.
Okay, you can talk about it. I got to take a bathroom break.
I said it before this. It was a coin flip fight. I picked Do Bronx early on in the beginning. He was the guy. He was the one that I'm like, he's going to win. And then about a week ago, I sat back and I thought, man, Chandler's got a damn good shot to win, and went back and forth. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stay with my original pick, and I'm going to stay with DuBronx. But Chandler, he gained me as a fan 100% because he's the man. He did good. But DuBronx, he's put in the work. He's been, 27, 28 fights in the UFC, and now he's the champ. That's pretty freaking impressive. That's consistency. That's not giving up. I don't think anybody beats him at 155. What do you think, Steve? I know you're listening. Who beats him? Who beats DuBronx at 155 right now? Poirier? McGregor? Maybe. I don't think McGregor does. Yeah, Jeff, for real. He grew on me. Very respectful. He comes in there. He's game. Yeah, 100%. But I think we could see DuBronx with a couple titles. We're betting on that, Steve. Just he beats Justin. I think the fight to make, we'll wait for Jack to get back because I already know where he's going with this. The only one that I think that might give him trouble if they quit giving in these freaking tomato cans is Islam Makhachev. He's the only one that I think is, but he's going to need a couple more fights before he even gets up there. So where do you go with it? Where do you go? Impressive performance. I don't think Charles beats Dustin. All right. I'm going to bet you on that too, Jeff. So I was just saying that, I don't think anybody beats DuBronx right now. Currently, I don't think so, man. I think he beats Poirier. I think he beats maybe Islam if Islam gets up there and gets a title shot. I mean, that's a big if.
So I'll say this though. Who you can't say that nobody beats him. Chandler, I think, was like this close to beating him. He was this close,
but he didn't.
I know, but he didn't. But like, I mean, they're at that level. They're playing a game of millimeters, and like Chandler said, he just zigged when he should have zagged. And like, I just feel like I cannot emphatically say Oliveira like
he's hitting on all cylinders right now. He is like
Khabib. Khabib was unbeatable, right? Nobody was beating Khabib. Nobody was beating Khabib, including Charles Oliveira.
I kind of want to see that.
Stop.
I kind of want to see it, man.
No way.
You can't tell me he hasn't earned it. For the body of work that he's just put together over these last, I mean, you're
after all the conversations we've had over the last 18 months.
Oh, I'm not saying he wins. I'm not saying he wins. No. I'm not saying he wins. I say I want to see it. I want to see him. I'll give him a chance against better than anybody else. I'm giving a chance, a better chance than anybody else has had.
I'm so disappointed in you.
Dude, he's clicking on all. His striking is just superb. No way. Max,
story.
Max doesn't beat him. No way. I don't think Max beats him either. Max at 155? No.
Dude,
maybe if he went down to 145, but which he won't. He's too big. He's too big for Max right now.
Let's have this conversation. How tiny did Michael Chandler look next to Oliveira?
I think that's going to be a problem.
Chandler looked tiny. Okay. And he obviously has the power and he's compact and whatever, but he looks small. Dude, guess you know who's not tiny? Dustin Poirier. You know who's not tiny? You know who's not tiny?
Justin
Gaethje.
I don't think Chandler.
You know who's not tiny? Well, okay, you could that. You know what? I don't think he does either. I don't think Michael Chandler
sucks because I'm a huge fan, but I'm like,
I
don't think he beats a Gaethje, man.
And I love the inner confidence and belief and stuff, and it's cool. Yeah. And what's fun too is I'm a fan of all those guys. I love all of them. Like I did not have a dog in the main event.
That's what I was talking about when you were in the bathroom. It's like
I love all these guys.
I only stuck with DuBronx just because that was my original pick.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to change. That's really the only reason I picked him because I thought Chandler had a great chance. But
what I'm saying is I think there's a chance that Poirier is durable enough. Like I don't think Oliveira knocks out Poirier the way that he just knocked out Chandler.
I don't think he knocks him out, but his striking. I mean, is there a fighter right now that has everything that Oliveira has right now? Striking, submission, like he's the whole package right now. Like who right now is he's at an elite level right now. He's fighting at an elite level.
Of course he is. He's the champion. Remember what I said last Friday? This is, to me, this is the most coveted belt in the world, is the 155-pound division in the UFC.
Yeah.
And he's on top of it right now. So of course he is. But I'm just saying is, you ready for this? Him, Poirier, Gaethje, Chandler. I would have to see McGregor beat Poirier, which I don't really think is going to happen, but I'm not going to put him in that mix yet. But those 4 right now. Okay, I'll say this.
How would you rank him? How would you rank him right now? Oliveira's the champ. Who's 2 for you right now? Not looking at Poirier. Okay, I agree with that. Who's 3?
To me, Poirier is the uncrowned champion. It should have been Poirier and Oliveira.
It should have been, but he chose.
He took the payday, which is fine.
He's been coming out and saying that he's saying stuff, and it's like, that's kind of cheap, man. Like you chose.
No,
it is.
Not.
It is. He had his chance to do it, and he chose not to. So you can't sit there and say, "Oh, I would have been the champ," and he's not undisputed and all this stuff. Bullshit. You had the opportunity and you chose the money fight over the championship. That's on him.
We both agreed after he beat Conor, though, he was the uncrowned champ. If Khabib
I did,
was gone.
I agree. And it should have been.
He was the uncrowned champ. So I'm just saying, I want to see Oliveira and Poirier before I make that distinction.
What about Gaethje?
He's right there.
Does Gaethje and Chandler? It's Gately and Chandler should be the fight, right?
But 1,000,000,000%.
That's the next fight.
Somebody's going night.
I don't think Chandler beat.
I don't think he does either. I think Gaethje's too big. I think Gaethje is better at Chandler's power game than Chandler is. I mean, we saw what Gaethje did to Tony Ferguson,
and he's just getting better too.
He's just getting better. And by the way, he's training with Kamaru Usman.
You can't tell me that's
pound for pound is the best fighter in the world, male fighter in the world right now.
You can't tell me some of that's not rubbing off on Gaethje down there to be able to train with.
You ready for this?
Pound for pound.
What if Gaethje decides, you know what? Yeah, I like knock people out, but guess what? I can mix in my wrestling too, the way Usman does. What if he starts picking up a couple of tricks out of Usman's page and starts mixing his wrestling in and then knocking people out the way Usman just did to Masvidal? He becomes terrifying again. Like he already is, but he gets better. Gaethje and Usman is such an amazing pairing as training partners for each other. Like they're just going to level each other up.
Steve Usman is a turd.
Hey,
okay. He's grown on me the last couple fights. I used to.
Me too.
I would agree. In the last couple fights, he's turned it up.
I'm a fan.
Anytime I see a guy like that, and we've talked about it, I think like a week ago. Anytime you see a guy that's a champion and he's getting better, that to me that just says it all, man. That guy's got the drive. He's next level, man.
He's elite. He's elite of the elite.
So it's got to be Gaethje because Gaethje hasn't fought since losing to Khabib, right?
Correct.
Okay, so give him and Chandler next.
Absolutely.
You got the winner of Poirier and McGregor is probably going to fight Do Bronx, right? Whoever wins McGregor and they're going to fight Do Bronx. So then the loser fights who?
If Conor loses, it's probably Nate Diaz. Right? Yeah. If Conor loses this fight, it's like Nate Diaz or exit stage left and go sit on your
go up and do Jorge. Him and Jorge would be big.
No, but if Conor loses, at some point Conor's gonna be like, dude. If he loses to Poirier, if he gets knocked out again, if he loses to Poirier, at some point you just have to look in the mirror and just be like, I'm not the same animal that I was. And I'm maybe go box Manny Pacquiao. Go box. Go box some other YouTuber that's closer to your side. I don't know. Or don't do anything. You just sold your whiskey company too for hundreds of millions. Like, dude, just go sit on your yacht and chill.
Do you think the fight's going to go different? I know you've made it clear that you think Poirier's going to win.
I love Conor.
Do you think the fight's going to look different? Do you think he's going to be motivated coming into this fight? I think it's going to be damn hard for him to be.
I think he's going to look motivated, but I don't know. And if he gets more in this like free flowing, like, and not the boxing stance, but back to his like free flowing range and stuff, like he can do some things, but at 155, I think Poirier is too powerful for him.
You got to think if he changes that up, Poirier changes the game plan and tries a takedown.
Maybe.
It's going to be a fun fight. Poirier Bronx would be.
Yeah, no, that's the fight. That's the fight I want to see. I mean, honestly, I don't care if I ever see Conor McGregor get in an octagon. I think Khabib said something that I never realized, but after he said it, I fully agree with. You don't get two primes in sports.
Yeah.
Look at if anybody was going to do it, it was Tiger Woods. He couldn't recapture that magic. No. Conor's never going to recapture that magic. I just don't believe it because we've never seen anybody do it. If Conor recaptures that magic, it'd be probably one of the greatest things we've ever seen in sports. Like, it would be insane. But I don't believe it can happen. You can't have two primes. Look at Anderson. He was never the same.
Yeah.
You don't have two primes, right? So it's like, I mean, there's part of me, it's like, if something happened and like Conor and Poirier couldn't happen, don't reschedule that. I just want to see Poirier and Oliveira. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, if something happens to that fight, Oliveira's got to step in.
That's all I want to see.
Oh man, there's so much fun. It's that 155 that you nailed it, man. That's the elite level.
That's the holy grail of fighting.
For right now, that is. We were talking about it at class today, and they were talking about that weight class. Those guys can go anywhere and train with elite guys. Yep. Some of those like bigger guys.
Yep.
You know, if you're a Stipe, if you're a Francis, it's like you're not just traveling all over and just getting to train with another big guy. All right, Jeff. Good point. Point made. I got you. That was Randy Couture. Hold my beer. He's saying Randy Couture. He had a second little run.
But it wasn't the first. It was just a lack of depth. Like he did have a second run, but I mean, I'm not saying recapturing gold.
Yeah,
like,
I get what you're saying.
But like Randy Couture didn't have a huge drop off and then came back. I'm not saying Rose just did it, right? Rose ascended to the top, won, lost, came back, won again. Like
you're talking, yeah.
I'm talking like Conor's basically been irrelevant for 4 to 5 years now.
Yeah.
He hasn't won a meaningful fight in the UFC since I believe 2016.
Yeah,
is that right?
We're not counting that
Cowboy. I said a meaningful fight.
Yeah, I know. Conor is
look. When was Eddie Alvarez?
I think it was 2016. I'm looking at it right now. It was Eddie Alvarez, 2016. Yep. Because then he loses the box Floyd Mayweather, lost to Khabib, beat Cerrone, lost to Poirier.
And everybody knows I love Conor.
I know you do.
Everybody knows I love Conor. It's just the reality of it, and it's okay. That's the other thing. Conor's rise, it's okay. He had one of the greatest 3 to 4 year sprints we've ever seen. He's changed the game, man. He's changed the games. Dude, every single one of these fighters should thank him for making them all more money. Yeah. He's shown people the path. Colby Covington, thank you. Yep. Jorge Masvidal, thank you. Like all those guys that are like loud and talk and stuff. Like, I mean, I know Chael started it. Yeah. But like Conor perfected it. Yeah. You know, Chael was funny, but like Conor is different. So, but what I'm saying is like, let's not like Conor's I know Conor, I'm sure he would like to regain the belt. For him, it's more big money fights now, right? Like nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. So when I'm saying, what do I see? I say I got Oliveira is the champ. He's the champ. So you got to put him at the top. Then it's Poirier, because to me, he's the uncrowned champ. Their paths have got to cross like ASAP. Yes. Gaethje is right there. And the only reason why Gaethje's below is because Poirier has a win over Gaethje and Gaethje lost his last fight. Yeah, that's really it. But he's right there. Like, it is 1A, 1B, 1C. And then you have, and then Islam is coming. Benny Dariush, he's got a statement. Nobody's beaten him in a while. And that was a good win. I know he caught Tony when he did, but like, that's okay. Like he's beating who they're putting in front of him. You can't knock him for that. There's guy. I think Gregor Gillespie is a future title contender. Drew Dobers was there, but we already saw like Islam kind of shut that down way quick.
Yeah, Islam's going to be a problem.
But see, that's the thing. That doesn't make sense. He's fighting Thiago Moises?
I don't get that.
Why isn't he fighting RDA? That was the fight to make.
I don't know.
Or RDA said no, thank you. You know what? I would like to see Connor and RDA. If Connor loses, I wouldn't mind seeing him fight RDA. RDA wants that fight really bad.
RDA needs a bigger name. He needs a big fight, though.
And that would be a big fight.
Yeah,
I know, not ranking, but fighting Connor's still a big fight.
Yeah, big money.
See,
fight.
You know what's hilarious? People are still talking about Connor. Yeah, who was the guy that Charles Oliveira said in the press conference? I'll fight Conor McGregor and sit him on his ass. That's what he said in the press conference. Guess that's what Oliveira wants. That's the thing. Yep. Everybody's like, why are you still talking about Connor? Because the champ is wanting to fight Connor because it's the biggest payday.
Yeah, he's not stupid. He's not stupid.
Dumb.
Not dumb at all.
Oh, yeah, and Oliveira also knows too. He probably strangles Connor.
Oh, yeah, I think he makes it look ugly.
Even if Connor's striking is completely on point, him and Oliveira and Connor probably edge. If Connor at his peak, and like I said, he's not there anymore. But even if Connor's at his peak, I give him the edge in the striking. Even though Drew Bronx's striking looks phenomenal right now, I did like 2016 Connor. I give him the edge in striking, but grappling, dude, Drew Bronx is the best submission artist in the history of the UFC.
Yeah. Well, we got a fun card coming up this weekend. Rob Font, Cody Garbrandt, Rob Font, baby.
Oh, man.
Justin Taffa, Jared Vanderer, Carlos Esparza, and Jan.
Stop it with Justin Taffa. I'm so sick of Justin Taffa.
This is a great fight.
Sucks.
Edmund Sabazian, Jackman. What fight sucks?
The Justin Taffa, Jared Vanderer.
Why?
I don't like that fight. Norma Dumont versus Felicia Spencer at 145. Good.
Bill Algeo and Ricardo Ramos is good. Our boy Court McGee, Claudio Silva.
Jack Hermanson versus Edmund Shabazian. That's a
great fight.
How's that not the co-main event?
Oh my gosh. I have no clue. No clue.
Bill Algeo, I like that. Ben Rothwell's always fun. He's fighting that Chris Barnett guy. What the heck?
Yancey
he
Medeiros.
Is 5'9". He is thicker than a Snickers. That Chris Barnett. Beast boy.
Then you got that Demir Ishmagulov guy is on there.
Let's go Court McGee.
It's a coin flip fight too.
That's a fun card.
It's a great card. And then
me too, Hal Hefe. Me too.
Steel Fist is coming up in 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
4 months away. A month. We're a month away.
That's
June 18th.
Big card. That main event is going to be Cole and Alden is going to be
high
banger.
Level.
Then you got the co-main event. Our boy Aleko's coming up from Vegas again to fight Robbie. I like it.
That's a great scrap. But Cole Schaefer and Alden, like that is as good of a fight of what's Cole now 3-0.
Think so. Yeah, 3-0.
And Alden's making his 0-0 pro debut. Like Alden, for those that don't know, I don't know if people are super familiar. He is so skilled and so talented. And Cole is just the workhorse. He's no longer the Viking. He is Cole, the main event Schaefer, because he's the main event of pretty much every Stelfist now.
He is. That is funny. He's like the main event the last 3 fights, all right? Now.
Yeah, well, the last 2, and then he was the main event on the last one last February before COVID shut it down.
Yeah.
That'll be 4 straight Steel Fist nights where he's the main event.
Such a stud, too. Such a stud.
He's all right. Tess is the real champ. Though.
Tess is the champ. You're the real MVP, Tess.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm stoked, man. I'm stoked. I can't wait to break down this card. Yeah, Cole's 3-0.
I can't wait to see Cody Garbrandt again. Because you got to remember the last time we saw Cody Garbrandt was that unreal knockout of Rafael Sansao.
I'll be right back now.
Yeah. Jason's tiny bladder has to go pee. This next Steel Fist card is so stacked. No, El Jefe, you ain't lying, dude. That card has some of my buddies on it too. We're gonna start getting some of those guests on as well. Let me see if I can pull up that card real quick. Sorry, folks. This is our highly produced. You can hear Jason peeing in the background. Gosh dang it, we're gonna have to mute that next time. Let's see. Let's see. Steel Fist. I can't wait for Steel Fist. Let's go. Steel Fist. Yeah, so they have that one. I'm gonna tell you another sneaky good.
Who you got? Kima's got like
David Kim versus Andres Torres. Hey, brother, you're gonna have to turn off your mic next time because we can hear you pee and flush.
Oops, sorry guys.
Oh, Fiji's back on the card fighting Eric Cotton.
I don't know anything about that Eric Cotton guy.
I don't either, but I know Fiji, and so I'm pumped.
Big Fiji. Yeah, Gima's it's like a Gima versus one hit, isn't it?
Not on this one, but
not
will
on
be
this
soon.
one. It's gonna be soon. Gima's bringing the heat with all these guys. You got a prediction, early prediction before we get off on Rob Font and Cody Garbrandt?
Cody Garbrandt.
You're confident on that?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
I might have to go against you on that. We'll see on Friday.
For sure is. Cody is a plus 100 underdog.
Ooh.
Rob Font is the slight favorite.
Rob Font's look good.
He looked phenomenal against Marlon.
He's got a huge reach advantage in that fight.
That's fine. Cody's boxing. Cody has the fastest hands in the UFC.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Anyways, all right. Well, what do we got on Friday? We got some people coming on Friday, right? Carson Hardman, right?
Carson Hardman.
Zach Hamilton.
Zach Hamilton's
coming on.
Who's going to be on that card?
Who else do we got coming on?
We just got to line them up. Those are the scheduled ones, but we have.
Did we get a time for Zach yet?
Yeah, I think so. We have to send it to him.
Oh, oops. All right, guys, we'll get out of here. We'll let you guys go back to enjoying your day. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We will see you guys Friday for some fighter spotlights. We out.
Boom.